We're here with the head softball coach here at Ohio Dominican, Marcella Vanlandingham. Now, Coach, before we get into this year, let's take a look back at last season. What are some final thoughts on the 2014 team and the special season that they had?
Well, looking back on it now, kind of feels like it was two seasons. In my 20 years of coaching, I don't think I've ever quite experienced anything like that before. I mean, I've had teams that have gotten off to slow starts before, but when you come back from your first third of your season, out in a 60-game season, and you're 4-18, you're not sure what's going to happen. You're not sure how your team's going to respond. You can go one of two ways, obviously. So I was really proud for that group of young ladies. They had worked so hard and put so many hours in. It was rewarding from a coaching standpoint to see the fruits of their hard work and their labor pay off for them. We always ask them to do so much. So it was good. It was good to see them have that kind of success. I mean, not many teams, again, start the season 4-18 and then go on to win a regular season championship. I think after opening GLIAC play 11-1, including a doubleheader sweep over, at that time, number 6 Wayne State, that kind of turned the corner. And from that point on, you could see this team. They started to believe in each other and what we were asking them to do. So I kind of think that was the turning point. You always kind of look back over the season. Okay, what was that one moment that made the difference and turned your season around? And that was certainly one of them. So.
All right, coming off the GLIAC regular season championship and the school's first NCAA tournament appearance, what are the expectations going into this season?
I mean, obviously the expectations are high, but we certainly understand, and we've talked to this team about the fact that, none of the success that we had last season guarantees us anything. It's a new season. This is a new team. Even though our core values haven't changed, they remain the same. Our goals are still the same. We certainly understand that, to compete for another GLIAC title, we have to go out and we got to do some things differently than how we started the season last year. Certainly it's not easy to win back-to-back conference titles. And I don't know that we can go into the season and expect to pull off an underdog role like we did last year. Pretty sure that there were a lot of coaches looking at our record coming off of spring break, heading into conference play, going, wow, 4-18, didn't really give us a lot of credit probably, and deservedly so. We hadn't really done anything to earn that, so I don't think people at that point were penciling us in as conference champion. So I think people, we will not have that luxury again this year of being able to maybe sneak up on some people. So.
Now, you sort of mentioned the spring tournaments here at the beginning of the year. Now, you found success in the GLIAC portion of the schedule the last couple seasons, but you sort of struggled a little bit in the early spring. How important will it be for the team to get off to a quick start?
Well, I think it's important for several reasons. Number one, it gives our players confidence. It's, again, going back to last year a little bit, 4-18, your confidence can certainly be rattled at that point. So you're kind of playing, teetering with their confidence when you lose that many games. So certainly you want to get off to a good start. And I think you want to do it to make a statement that last year wasn't just a fluke. So I think there are certainly several reasons for getting off to a good start. Certainly the regional positioning. We were only, a lot of people may not realize this, we were only one game away from not even qualifying or being eligible. Even if we had won that, you have to have a 500 record to be eligible for NCAA postseason play. So, those wins early in the season are critical from that standpoint, and it's critical for us to make a statement in the region when we play those games, and we certainly have a schedule early in the season full of regional opportunities. And then I think last, is the value of just the importance that our players need to put on every game and not just wait until the conference and make those more important than everything else. Every team's a little different. Unfortunately, last year, our team was kind of a team that learned by losing, unfortunately, and you certainly, as a coach, you don't want to see that happen. It was good that they did learn those lessons. So hopefully, from a maturity standpoint, we're a little further ahead than we were last year. So hopefully, we'll get off to a little bit stronger start.
Now this season you return a lot of experienced players, including 3 first-team All-GLIAC selections. Taylor Thomas also earned numerous All-Region honors as she was named GLIAC Player of the Year, while Allie Hinton was named GLIAC Freshman of the Year. How nice is it to know that you have a group of players that now have experience winning a conference championship and that have had experience in the NCAA tournament as well?
Oh, I mean, it's nice to have a strong group of returning players to make up the core of your team, and you know you can't put a price tag on the value of experience, and not taking anything away from Taylor and Allie, because certainly those were years that that you don't always have those kinds of seasons. I mean, those were a special year for those two, and we're going to count on them heavily again to play well this spring. However, we have a lot of good players, and our success, I think, is going to be determined by those other players' performances, even more so than Taylor and Allie, because I think a lot of teams are going to focus on those two and trying to shut those two down offensively. So it's really our successes, when you look at it, is going to be, okay, we need 7 other players to step up, and then if those 7 can step up, then that's going to free those two up to have good seasons as well. So I'm excited to see who those players are going to be, who are those other players that are going to step up for us. You know, I think there are several players that are in position right now and primed and ready to take that next step and make that happen.
With preseason training underway, how has the team looked in the first couple of weeks as you prepare for the opening games?
Practices have been really good. This team has a very mature approach. You can see their focus and their determination each day when we go out to practice. I certainly think we're further ahead than we were a year ago in a lot of areas. Last year we had moved several people around, were playing different positions, and so there was some uncertainty there. But I think we're a little bit more solid in terms of the roles and everything that we have going into this season. We've had an opportunity to get outside a few times, which is not always the case before we play. So that has helped us being able to get out and have a little bit more room. We've been out on the football field and have a little bit more room to do some things that we don't always have an opportunity to do in the gym before we play. But I've been very pleased with this group offensively and pitching. Those are the 2 unknown factors. It's hard to get a good gauge in those 2 areas when you're only going against yourself all the time. Our hitters right now, are putting some good swings on the ball. Is that because they're ready to go, or is that because they're just so comfortable with our pitchers because they know our pitchers so well? How are they going to respond when they face pitchers that they're not as familiar with, and vice versa? Our pitchers have done a good job so far. They don't always get a lot of the credit because our hitters have adjusted to them. So it's hard to tell exactly where they are against hitters as well. So I think we've had good practices, and we're excited to get an opportunity to play a week from today.
Now, we sort of mentioned that there's a lot of experienced players returning, but you also have 5 freshmen on this year's team, including 3 of which that are pitchers. What are you expecting to see from these 5 young ladies this season as they start their careers at ODU?
Well, I think 2 or 3 of them really have a chance to be everyday players for us. A couple of them, really showed us in the fall what they were capable of doing. And I think, with injury and some changes here recently, there are going to be some opportunities for them to get their feet wet early. But the nice thing is they're going to be playing around and be surrounded by players who have that experience. So there's going to be some comfort there for them. But they're still freshmen. Bailey Miller, she had a really good fall for us. She will probably, be one of our starting 2 pitchers, and so she will get some innings. And then those other 3 will be fighting for some innings, and I really feel like all 3 of them have, are or the two of them have the potential in Haley Earl and Alex Jander to get some innings as well. And then Liz Suter, she's a utility type player. Probably going to look to play her mostly in the outfield, but she would also be a backup for us in the infield. And Taylor Klein is a middle infielder who will probably be our starting second baseman. So.
All right, ODU will open their season next weekend at the Charger Chill Out hosted by Alabama Huntsville. Coach, thanks for your time and good luck next weekend.
Thank you.